was a little nervous about Beach Picnic because at the beginning on Disney Plus, it's got one of its cards that says, the attitudes towards certain cultures at the time were wrong and are still wrong, but, we're uploading this for educational purposes anyway. And I thought, well, how could they possibly offend anybody with what looks like a sweet beach story? To be honest, it's not that bad. It really is nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. I don't necessarily even think they need the warning. I feel like some people are a bit too sensitive. It really isn't that bad. But certainly it wouldn't be released today. This was actually released in 1939, which gives us some explanation of the attitudes towards certain characters. And it's directed by Clyde Geronimi with our brilliant voice cast, including Clarence Nash as Donald Duck and Lee Millar as Pluto. It's rare that we get Donald and Pluto together, but it's not impossible. Pluto, honestly, didn't need to be in this. I feel like they could have made it two completely different shorts. Because on the one hand, we have the story of Pluto and this blow-up... What is it? Is it like a horse? I think it's an inflatable horse. Like a rubber ring with a horse's head on for children to play in the sea. And he's battling with this in the ocean, and it's defeating him and causing him a lot of agitation. And that's one side of it. And the animation of that is really lovely. It's really pleasing to watch. The other side is Donald having a picnic on the beach. And I love the animation for that. It's so detailed. The picnic blanket, the foods, the pie. I believe it's a plum pie because purple stuff spurts out of it when he puts it down. Not really food you'd take to the beach, but nevertheless, he's having this picnic. It's really lovely animation. I'm really enjoying Donald's little seaside costume. He's very, very cute. And then, as we've seen before with Donald having picnics, these ants all come storming out to try and attack his picnic food. This is where the potential racism comes in. These ants are all dressed as your stereotypical Indians, and as in Native Americans. Yeah, obviously it makes them seem quite wild, and it's maybe not the most accurate portrayal, but it's not like their actions are completely savage. They are ants after all. When I look at the behaviours of these individuals, I'm viewing them as ants, not as representations of Native Americans. So I don't really think it was that bad. Sure, the ants didn't need to be dressed up as your kind of stereotypical Indians that we used to see in earlier cartoons. They could have done away with that. Sure, it makes it a little bit more visually interesting, but at the same time, really, I don't think it's that bad at all, and Disney take a lot of precautions with these warnings. And unfortunately, I think that overshadows genuinely racist depictions. Because something like this, they're just ants. The kind of wild pack nature is the behaviour of the ants. And I don't really think anybody watching this is going to assume that it's an accurate representation. But, I guess the warning label is there as a precaution. And that's always fair enough. Better to be safe than sorry. But anyway, these ants storm the picnic. They steal the food. They take slices of cake. They generally ruin Donald's day. There is another episode, and I can't remember what it's called. And knowing my luck, it's just something like Donald's Picnic or something. But there is an episode very similar where Donald is having a picnic, and these ants all come along and take his food. It wouldn't surprise me if they've replicated a lot of the animation and just tweaked it so it fits in with the beach scene. But I still really enjoyed it. I thought visually it was stunning, it's a lot of fun. I do think it's, kind of like two separate narratives with Donald and Pluto. And you could argue that it makes it a more well-rounded, more interesting short. But I think they could have maybe developed Pluto's story a little bit and actually had them as two separate shorts and, made more money for them for less time than it would have taken them to do two different shorts. But nevertheless, I really like it. I think it's quite sweet. Not one of my favourite all-time shorts, but I actually really enjoyed it.